Hello, everybody. Welcome to Weekly Trash, the safe place to cleanse your mind, body, and soul of all that trash you consume this week so you can consume some more tomorrow. I'm your host, Josie Van Dyke, and it is Trash Day, y'all. Welcome to today's solo episode where we will be taking out my personal trash, pop culture TikTok trash, which is basically Secret Lives of Mormon Wives trash, and Trasher's trash. How are you? How's your week been? How's life? Are you ready for Christmas? Because I'm not. Actually, I take that back. I'm decently ready. Usually I don't have any of the kids' Christmas gifts yet, but I hit up Home Goods. And you guys know I'm a Home Goods whore. And I think some people sleep on Home Goods. No, sorry, not Home Goods, TJ Maxx. I was thinking of the one in Harriman where TJ Maxx and Home Goods are connected. I'm a Home Goods and I'm a TJ Maxx whore, mostly Home Goods. But in this case, TJ Maxx, because I think people sleep on the fact that TJ Maxx sells toys. And I think when you have kids between the ages of 3 and 8, you don't need to be buying expensive shit. Okay, even when they're 8, you don't really need to be buying expensive shit. But TJ Maxx slaps, slays. It also has toys that not everyone else has because it's like a bunch of toys that never got purchased a couple of years ago. So then it gets filtered through and then it gets sold at TJ Maxx for like half the price. So I bought like a remote control Raptor for Brooks that was like originally probably $80 and I got it for like $30. These massive bluey coloring books, got each kid one. I got a train that was like $12. I got cameras, like digital cameras, $10. Highly recommend if you haven't bought your kids their Christmas gifts yet, go to TJ Maxx. It's probably cheaper than Amazon. And even if it's not cheaper than Amazon, you should still go get it because you can see it in person. And it's just like so much more exciting to go Christmas shopping in person than it is online. Some people might disagree with that, but I find there to be something very nostalgic and fun about Christmas shopping in person. I feel like we have lost a lot of the Christmas spirit as technology has grown and the years have gone by. So going Christmas shopping as a family is something that I'm doing. Buying ornaments as a family is something that I want to do. I don't just want to order everything online and it show up at my door. Like with groceries and everyday essentials, yes, I do. Christmas stuff, I want the hustle and the bustle of going out on Christmas. Same with Black Friday. Whatever happened to waiting in the lines on Black Friday? Do I think it's overconsumption and also a problem? Yes. Am I kind of contradicting myself? Yes. But I do think it was really fun to look back on where Thanksgiving night, everybody was like, oh my gosh, what deals are you getting? Are you going to Best Buy? Are you going to Walmart? Where are you going? Was it toxic? Maybe, but it was nostalgic. And I can't remember the last time I actually went shopping on Black Friday in person. I don't know. Maybe it's a good thing. But I feel like with Christmas shopping, it should be fun. So go to TJ Maxx, get your kids' toys. That's where I was going with this. Okay. Sorry to interrupt, but today's episode is brought to you by Cozy Earth. You guys, December gets so chaotic between the parties, the wrapping, the running around. I swear, the moment I look forward to the most is when everything slows down and I can finally just be home, cozy, warm, and relaxed. And honestly, who on your list deserves that feeling too? If you want to give a gift that feels more like an experience than a product, Cozy Earth is it. When someone opens Cozy Earth, whether it's their pajamas, the loungewear, or my personal favorites, the bamboo sheet set, you're giving them something they'll enjoy long after the holidays are over. Their bamboo sheet set is crafted from viscose from bamboo, and it's so insanely soft, super breathable, and actually helps you sleep a few degrees cooler. It's perfect for snuggling in those winter nights and then waking up refreshed on those cozy holiday mornings. And here's why gifting Cozy Earth is such a no-brainer. They offer a 100-night sleep trial. You can try it, and if you don't love it, return it, but trust me, you're not going to want to. Plus, everything comes with a 10-year warranty because once you feel this level of comfort, you're going to want it to last forever. So give the gift of everyday luxury this holiday season. Head to CozyEarth.com and use code WeeklyTrash for 40% off. Just make sure you order before December 12th for guaranteed Christmas delivery. Listening after December 12th? Don't worry. My code still works year round for 20% off. And you get a post-purchase survey. Be sure to mention you heard about Cozy Earth right here on Weekly Trash. Cozy Earth, the gift of comfort that lasts beyond the holidays and carries into a cozy new year. Thank you, Cozy Earth, for sponsoring today's episode. Today's episode is brought to you by Boom Trashers. You already know I'm going to put you on the good stuff. If you need holiday outfits, winter outfits, any outfits really, Boom is the move. Their sweaters, so good. Their dresses, I'm obsessed. I swear every time I go to their site, there's something new and I'm like, okay, fine, add to cart. There's seriously so much. So if you want to be cute this season, and I know you do, go shop Boom and use code TRASHER20 for 20% off. Treat yourself. You deserve it. Again, that's boom.com, BOHME, code TRASHER20. Love ya. And thanks, Boom, for sponsoring today's episode. But yeah, Christmas is coming. It's a hopping up. It's coming up. And I didn't ask for anything for Christmas except for one thing that involves paint, chairs, some other stuff. Okay. That's a little sneaky peeky, but let's just say things might be changing around here. I don't know, but they could be. So take a good look at this beautiful pink wall behind me because it could be, I don't know. Santa and the elves might be working on something. I don't know. It's just a hitch, a hunch, a hinge, a hunch. I don't know. Either way, you might want to say adios to the pink or not. I don't know. But that's kind of what I asked for Christmas is more of like a home project than like a tangible thing. And last solo episode, somebody was like, what should I ask for Christmas? And I gave like really lame things. I did say G7X camera, which highly recommend, a Dyson Airwrap, Botox filler, Daxi hair extensions, tummy tuck, boob job, lipo. I'm just kidding. But seriously, as an adult, it is really hard to think of things that you want. It's so much easier when you're a teenager and you don't have a cell phone yet. And like number one on the list is an iPhone. Or, oh my gosh, do you remember back in the days when iTunes gift cards? iTunes gift cards. See, that's another nostalgic thing that our kids will never experience. They'll never experience getting a $25 iTunes gift card, knowing that that's 25 new songs that you can put on your iPod and scratching off the little silver thing and being like, oh my gosh, it's happening. And then those greedy bitches raised it to $1.29. So then $25 gift card gave you like 22 songs and then some random ass extra change. That was fucked up. They knew what they were doing. Okay, that was rude because then you had to buy another gift card to then use that random change that you had left over from the $1.29 songs. Do people still buy music? Can you actually go on iTunes and buy music now? Because you have Apple Music, you have Spotify. Can you actually buy music? Also, if you can, why? Why would you ever buy music? Now I feel like I need to look this up, but I really don't have the time because we have lots to discuss. So I'll have to look at it a different day. But if you can buy music, that's crazy. Oh, the times are changing. I'm so old. I went to a dinner, more personal trash. I went to a ACTA dinner and I was sitting across from someone who was 18. And I was like, wait, I'm 21. And then I was like, no, I'm 29. Oh my gosh, no, I'm turning 30. And I had that realization last podcast episode that I'm turning 30 and I'm not ready to turn 30. But sitting across from someone who was 18 years old and they still had their whole life ahead of them. I do too. If you're 40 and you're listening to this, you're like, bitch, shut up. You're not even 30 yet. You have your whole life. But thinking back at 18-year-old Josie, she didn't realize what she was capable of. She didn't realize that she could just use her free will and move to New York City. She didn't realize that she could just do whatever she wanted. Whatever. There was nothing holding her back. There was no marriage. There were no kids. I mean, she had no money. She was broke as shit, but that's kind of fun. You know, you get to like figure out life. To be 18 again. I mean, I don't know if I would want to be 18 again because I actually really like my life now, but I was just thinking as I was sitting next to her, I'm like, go live it up, which she actually was moving to Hawaii. If you're listening to this, hi, I hope you enjoy your life as an 18-year-old, but it was so crazy to sit next to someone 18 and be like, oh my gosh, you never had MySpace. You never had MySpace. You never had an iTunes gift card. And you probably never went shopping on Black Friday. Like that's Crazy. That's crazy. Let's see. What other personal trash do I have today? I also just drank a coffee, if you can't tell. Like I'm feeling really like bippity boppity boo. Layla's episode. It was so good. Layla, I feel like she's done a lot of press. And I think all the girls do a lot of press that's revolved around the show and the drama. But the unfortunate thing about reality TV is each season there's a different person that's being focused on, whether it's, an affair or a scandal. That's what gets the attention, not really like the basic neutral storylines of the rest of the girls. So I feel like all the girls who have gone on press and podcasts and TV shows or whatever, they are talking about other people's drama. And I really wanted to make it a point to talk about just Layla on this episode. And I think a lot of people enjoyed that. I think a lot of people were missing that part of the show. And I get it from a producer standpoint of you want things that are really going to captivate an audience and get them engaged and make them feel things. And usually those things that you want them to feel is like anger, like with like the Demi stuff. It's like they want people to have like a jolting reaction to something. They don't really want them to feel mushy and gushy. And so it's a lot better for them to have these like huge, crazy, scandalous storylines be the forefront. But it does like make everyone else put their life stories on the back burner. And Layla does have a great life story. And I hope that we get to see more of that in the next few seasons. But it's hard to say because I'm sure Taylor will do something crazy that'll kind of take the front seat. I think Demi's time has ended. I think she definitely took the cake for this season. I don't see her topping that. I don't even know if I see her coming back. And we will talk more about that in pop culture, Secret Lives of Mormon Wives trash, basically. But Layla came. It was so good. Love her. Elf on the Shelf started, if you do that. I think there's different levels of Elf on the Shelf. There is the above and beyond, the let's go all out. Let's, really use our time and effort to make this elf do all kinds of shit. And I tried that. Not me at all. I even bought one of those kits, which make it a lot easier because then you don't have to like go out and find things. It's already ready. It gives you a game plan of like what day you're doing what. But I just didn't like it. I don't know. I'm just not an Elf on the Shelf kind of mom like that. So you have that kind of mom, which I did see one that was so funny. And like people who do that are so creative and props to them because like I said, I can't. But there was one where they were making their elf pee Fruity Pebbles. Iconic. If you've seen it, you know. And then it's like Jessie's sound as like the TikTok sound of her being like, if we want to go low, if we want to be petty, Fruity Pebbles is blah, 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 blah. I mean, that was pretty iconic. I mean, for a child, I don't think they really understand the gravity of what you just did. But as an adult, it was funny. Then we have the next level of Elf on the Shelf mom, which is me, where I just move it around the house. And it's actually really fun because I can make it, hard for them to find. Pedro does a really good job at finding hiding spots. And then every morning they're like, where is it? The problem with Elf on the Shelf though, and tell me if you've experienced this as a parent, is your child wakes up at the butt crack of dawn to see one, where the elf on the shelf is. And if you go above and beyond what the elf on the shelf is doing. I need my kid to stay in bed till at least 7 a.m. Actually, it's not my problem because Pedro gets up with the kids. God bless. But like, they are waking up at 5 a.m., which what the fuck are they going to do on Christmas morning? Because that's the other thought process I had earlier today was last year, Banks was still pretty much a baby that, to be honest, we didn't wake him up to open presents because I was like, he won't even know what the heck is going on. And I didn't want to wake him up. I wanted him to get his sleep. A baby needs their sleep. So I was like, you sleep, mommy and daddy and Brooks and Bentley, we're going to open the presents. And then I went and woke up Banks and then he got his moment to shine. This year he's 2. He'll be fully aware if I don't wake him up. But if my kids wake up at 5 in the morning, like they are for Elf on the Shelf for Santa, which they will, I know they will. What do I do about my 2-year-old? Do I then go wake up my 2-year-old at 5 a.m. and ruin the entire day? Ruin the entire schedule? I am a plan A. I'm a plan B mom. LOL. No, I am a type A mom when it comes to bedtimes and routines and naps. If he wakes up at 5 a.m., if I wake him up at 5 a.m., that means his nap would have to be at like 10 a.m. it just throws off the whole day. So if you're a mom and you have multiple kids and your youngest kids are the ones that aren't going to just wake up at the crack of dawn for Santa Claus, what do? Do you wake them up? Do you make the kids wait? Like, a part of me is like, okay, I'll make them wait, but then what are they going to do? Sit there and watch the Grinch and stare at their presents? Actually, that's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. Because I do feel like opening presents at 5 a.m. is insane. I've never been that kind of family. I've also been, even when I full on, trigger warning, we're going to talk about Santa, plug your kids' ears. Even when I full on thought Santa was real, I loved sleep. Okay, I loved sleep so much. Since a young age, I've loved to sleep. And I would be woken up by my sister at 7:30 a.m. ready to open presents, which I feel like is kind of late compared to my kids. And I would literally look at her and I'd be like, 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes to sleep instead of opening presents. Like, that has been my mentality since I was a baby, since I was a child. And every year for Christmas, now that my kids wake up, I'm freaking the Grinch. And Pedro gets up with them and he's like, okay, the kids are ready. And he has to wake me up and literally pull me out of bed to open presents because I love sleep so much. So I'm really dreading if my kids wake up at 5 in the morning, because obviously I'm going to have to get up and just like be a good, fun mom. But then what do I do with Banks? To wake up or to not wake up the 2-year-old, or make them wait till 7 a.m. and watch the Grinch. Those are kind of my options that I'm working through right now. But how did we get here? Oh, Elf on the Shelf, waking up at 5 a.m. Yeah, it's really freaking annoying. So let me know, what kind of Elf on the Shelf mom are you? Are you the one that says, screw it, we're not doing it? Are you the one that moves it around? Or are you the one that full on has it in a freaking toilet with saran wrap and a bunch of Fruity Pebbles? Like, which one are you? Next, I saw Wicked for Good, Wicked 2, Wicked Part 2. I don't know like the proper terms. It was supposed to be just me and Bentley. She's 6. And I took her to the first one. She loved it. So I was like, okay, let's go to the second one together. When Brooks heard that we were going to the movies without him, he was pissed. He was like, no, I want to go see Wicked as well. And I was like, okay, let's watch the first Wicked. And if you like it, we can go to the second one. He liked it. He was like, okay, I want to go. I was like, are you sure? Are you sure? It's a 2+ hour movie. Are you sure you want to go to this? Brooks is 5. And he was like, yeah, I'm sure. I was like, okay. So we get to the movie theater. That little boy got up every 10 minutes. Mom, how much longer? Buddy, there's still 2 hours and 10 minutes left. Sit down. Sit down. I don't think I'll ever take him. I mean, I don't think he'll want to go to a movie that's over 2 hours ever again. But it was the most annoying thing because I'm trying to get into it. Like, me and Bentley are in this. We're like, we are going to watch Wicked. This is our time. And then he would just like stand up, because it was him, Pedro, Bentley, me. And I would just see his little silhouette walking over and standing in front of me going, mommy. And I would literally grab him, have him sit next to me. And he would just be like, how much longer? And I was like, oh my gosh, just sit down and eat. Just like eat your candy in peace. I almost was like, do I turn on Blippi? Like, do I give him my phone and turn on Blippi so he's distracted? Like, he could not sit there and watch Wicked for longer than 20 minutes. And it's honestly not his fault, because the second one didn't have a ton of new songs. It wasn't as fast paced as the first one. I liked the first one more, I think, just because it had Popular and What Is This Feeling? What is this feeling? So sudden and new. I love, I don't know all the words. Gosh dang it. My head is reeling. Yeah. Well, my face is flushing. What is this feeling? Further as a flame. Does it have a name? Yes. Loathing. Unadulterated loathing. For your face, your voice, your clothing. Let's just say, I loathe it all. Every little chip, however small, makes my very flesh begin to crawl. A simple other loathing. There's a strange exhilaration. I don't know if I'm going to keep that in, but I did sing there for a minute, so I might cut that out. But that song just really gets me in the mood. Gosh, cast me on Chicago. Oh, I'm so talented. But yeah, I don't think I'll be bringing him to another 2-hour plus movie. We are going to try to see Zootopia. Did you hear that Zootopia outbeat Wicked in the box office? Nuts. Okay. But Zootopia is such a good movie. Like, it really is. It's actually one of my favorites. The sloth at the DMV, iconic. So I will be seeing Zootopia. Maybe he'll sit through that one. I don't know. We're bringing Banks to that one, and I'm hoping because it's like a kid's movie, he'll stay in the zone. But yeah, bringing a 5-year-old boy to Wicked was a bad idea. Bad idea, if you're wondering. I started therapy again. Slay. Love that for me. I talked about this on Patreon, but I had like a moment where I vented to ChatGPT because I was having a breakdown, and ChatGPT basically told me, hey, I can't really help you, go to therapy. So I called up my therapist who I saw when I was doing ketamine, and I've had one session so far, and it was really good. It was really good. We talked a lot about trauma and how I literally think I'm bipolar or have like borderline personality disorder, because one minute I'm like, oh my gosh, I got this. Like I'm so confident, like overly confident, which is how I've been like my whole life. And then all of a sudden I'll like say something and my brain will flip and it'll be like, actually, you're so dumb and stupid. And turns out it's trauma. Turns out it's a trauma response. But I was like, no, I'm literally two different people. Like I can't just be confident all the time. Like, it's such like a big roller coaster of emotions. And it's really hard when your job is to show up and perform, basically. Like, this is a stage, and I need to be fun and upbeat and happy and charismatic and funny and all these things. And then like when deep down you're like completely second guessing yourself and thinking that you're a piece of shit, that's really hard to do. And nobody wants to listen to a podcast of somebody thinking they're a piece of shit all day and like complaining and venting. Like, we get it. Shut up. So I don't talk about it because there's more to life than thinking you're a piece of shit. And so I talk about other things and I try to have fun, but it's been eating me alive because the little voice in my head, the trauma apparently that is eating at me, has been getting to a point where I'm like, I can't take it anymore. So did go to therapy. She said I do not have borderline personality disorder. So there's that. Don't have bipolar. There's that. But I do have massive trauma. So working through that, which is crazy because I thought I did. I thought I did work through it. And we kind of discussed how like my coping mechanisms like don't really work anymore, because for a long time my coping mechanism was humor and having fun. And this right here, Weekly Trash, this was my coping mechanism. This was my safe place. This was fun. And then it got bigger, and then it got opinions and Reddit threads and people being mean. And it no longer was a safe place. It became a stage. It became a place where I had to almost protect who I was so that way I didn't get criticism and I didn't get people giving me opinions that would make me feel shitty about myself. And it all of a sudden became work, first of all, and scary. It became very scary. But over my dead body, am I going to quit this? Like, I was born for this, baby. Okay, Lady Gaga, I was born for this. This is who I am deep down in my core. I'm a performer. I love the arts. I love speaking and talking and connecting and all of this. I love everything about this. And that's the real Josie. But the trauma Josie is like, girl, you should just like, I don't know, jump off. Like, you should just end it. Never podcast again, never grab a microphone ever for the rest of your life, and just hide from the world. But I will not let that trauma win. We're not letting her win. So we're going to therapy. And I feel like this right here, this is Josie. This is not trauma. This is free, loving, fun. This feels like a safe place. And that's the thing too, is I'm being so vulnerable right now. That's the thing too about this is I don't get any hate to my face. None. For all I know, people love me. Okay. But I do know that there are places online that don't love me, that do say negative things. And I've never looked at it. It's my biggest flex, but I know it exists. And that like, I hate it. It like eats me alive. And I like, don't even like talking about it because I don't want to bring like energy to it. But that's the hardest part of showing up online and being in this field of work, is you're giving people the opportunity to be mean and shitty. And so it makes you want to like protect yourself and kind of not like alter yourself, but find things that you think people could like go after and be like, ugh, I'm not going to show that side of myself. I'm not going to be that vulnerable. I'm not going to be too honest because I don't want people to be mad. And I've noticed like I get down that slippery slope where I keep trying to be a people pleaser, but you can't please everybody. You're going to make people upset. People aren't going to like you. That's just how life works. Like I can't think of a single person that every single person in the world likes. Even Jesus Christ himself. Okay. Like it is impossible to be loved by everybody. And once you realize that and you're just like, I'm going to be me, it's fine. But that doesn't mean that there's moments where like you think about the fact that there are people who don't like you and it like hurts your feelings and you're like, oh, dang, that sucks. And that's where my trauma loves to thrive. That's where she takes a big bite of that negative pie and she starts spewing hate into my brain. And it's not okay. It's toxic. It's bad for you. And my therapist said this. She was like, you don't need to know what people think about you. It's not your job to know what people think about you. And it's true. It's not your responsibility. Like, you don't need to know what other people think about you. Like, who cares? Who cares? And I don't really know why this even came up. Kind of all over the place. This peppermint mocha really just hit the ADHD brain hard. But yeah, started therapy. Started therapy again. We'll let you know how it goes every Thursday. That's where I'll be crying, working on it, trying to get rid of the trauma response that apparently my brain has now. Last thing in my personal trash before we talk about Secret Lies of Mormon Wives. Sorry to interrupt, but today's episode is brought to you by Minky Couture. You will never want to buy another blanket ever again. I would know because I've had lots of blankets, and ever since I got that one viral blanket that you see online, the Minky Couture blanket, I am confidently telling you that it is the best blanket ever. Everyone needs to have something as cozy as Minky in their home. There's nothing quite like coming home after a long day and cuddling up with your Minky Couture blanket. They are soft and luxurious, and it feels like a cuddling cloud. Okay, just cuddle it up. There's so many different types of blankets out there, but seriously, nothing compares to Minky Couture. They have the largest selection of colors, sizes, and patterns on the market. They are the creator of the original Hugs blanket, a double-sided, stretchy, and plush style that literally hugs you back. I've never had a blanket that even comes close to my Minky Hugs. Minky Couture is a female-owned business started by a mother who wanted to provide luxurious comfort to her daughter through a tough time. Since 2009, Minky Couture has been able to bring comfort and luxury to homes all over the world. Passionate about giving back to the community, they donate over 30,000 mini Minkies to NICUs across the country every year. And lucky for you guys, I have partnered with Minky Couture to bring this comfort and luxury into your home by offering listeners an exclusive 50% off discount. That's right, 50% off. Use your code weeklytrash at checkout for 50% off your next purchase on all full priced items. You can use it in store or online at softminkyblankets.com. Again, use code weeklytrash for 50% off your next purchase and treat yourself to the best blanket ever. Follow them on Instagram for additional deals and updates at Minky Couture. Thanks, Minky, for sponsoring today's episode. I did post on my TikTok this there's like that trend where it's like you tell your younger self or past self something that like you should do, make sure you do it or you'll regret it type of thing. Like when you're 21, you're going to meet this guy. It's very important that you marry him. Or like when you're 16, you're going to have this feeling that you should start a journal. It's very important that you write in it or whatever. And I was looking back in my life and I was like, what is a point in my life where like I can say without a doubt it's changed the trajectory of my life? And I know a moment like that for sure changed everything in my life. And it was almost 4 years ago. It'll be 4 years ago in February when I went to a GALentines party. And this is the most context I can give at this time. I will be giving full story. I've decided I will be giving full story, but I need to wait. Like I said on the TikTok, I have to get my ducks in a row, but I will be sharing the full story. And Pedro made a joke. He was like, what if you shared it on like the 4-year anniversary, which would be February 17th. So I kind of think that's when I'm going to do it. I feel like it's a good time, right? But at that GALentines party, I was told something that then gave me a gut feeling to then check somewhere. And by checking somewhere, I then found something that then exploded my life. Friendships, marriage, careers, all of it. And there's a lot of people involved in it, which makes it really difficult. And another thing is a lot of the people in it have apologized, but just because I forgive doesn't mean I forget. And it still happened. And if you knew the full story, like from beginning to end, it's very happy. It's a very happy story and it's hopeful. And it would give a lot of people, I think, hope that they can make something for themselves. And so I do want to tell the story. It's going to be a freaking 12-parter though, because I'm going to have to go back freaking 11 years ago to give like full scope of the story. So you know how intense that night meant for so many of us that were involved. But I do want to say a lot of it is like that these girls were mean girls. And no, that wasn't the case. I was never left out. I was never bullied by these girls. There is one girl, which will be discussed in the full series, whenever I do it, that I think if anything, she would have been like in the quotations of like a bad friend. But none of those girls, none of them were mean. None of it was bad. I just put stars over their faces to protect their identities because they didn't ask to be put on the internet. But it's funny because like half of them commented on the video anyways, the photo, and they were like, LOL, what a night or what a year. Like, so obviously they didn't care, but I just wanted to be respectful and not show their faces. But it has nothing to do with like toxic girl friendships, at least not fully. There might be a teensy tiny part of that, but not really. So that's the most context I can give on that. Apologies. But let's go to pop culture, Secret Lives of Mormon Wives trash, basically. First things first, Whitney Levitt gets the lead of Roxy in Chicago, baby. And I had known about this. I didn't know that she had fully gotten it, but I knew that it was in the works. I knew it was happening. And so it was so funny to see everybody be like, she's not going to be a Broadway star. Like, she's not going to make it in Hollywood. You guys, like I said, grab a fork, like eat your words. This was Dancing with the Stars were the training wheels to her fame in Hollywood. And it's true. Like she is going to be a star. And now there's all these conspiracies that she's going to be a Disney princess in a movie, which I have no idea. Like, I'm not like saying that as if I like have inside information because I don't. But I could just see her doing big, big things. I am going to New York City to see her in Chicago opening night. I'm so excited. I'll take any excuse to go to New York City. And I was like, this is going to be so freaking cool because not only is it in my favorite city in the world, but I think it's really special to watch a performance when you actually know the people performing. Like I've seen Wicked and it was really cool. And I've seen a couple of other things while I was in New York, a couple of shows. A lot of them were off Broadway. And it's a really cool experience. I can't imagine how much cooler it'll be when you actually know the people performing and like cheering them on. So very excited for that. Very excited for Whitney. She deserves it. She deserves it. Let's talk about the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives reunion. You know, it wasn't great. Wasn't great. And I feel like people are putting the blame on Stassi, who was the host. And I think being a host of anything is kind of a thankless job. You're never going to be enough. People are always going to have issues. They're going to be like, I would have done this. I would have asked this. I would have said this. It's like, no, you wouldn't have because you wouldn't have gotten the job in the first place. So shut the fuck up. But none of it is Stassi's fault because at the end of the day, it goes back to Hulu and Disney. They're the ones who are going to approve what is shown, what is said. And like she said, like they filmed for 12 hours and you only saw an hour of it. Like it should have been 2 parts, first of all. It felt very rushed. And there was no like storyline. Like they weren't like following a layout. It was just kind of like one thing after another thing after another thing. It's like, okay, let's go from the beginning issues towards the issues towards the end. Like, let's make a full circle. Instead, it was like ding, 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 ding. Like, what's that game with the ball? You know what I'm talking about? At the arcades? Anyways, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see the visual. Okay, pinball. Pinball. Is that what it's called? Pinball. It was like pinball. It's like bing, 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 bing. It needed to be a full circle, start to finish. And maybe it was that at the time, but the way they edited it, it just wasn't that. But here are my thoughts. First thought, why are the men so involved? It's Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, not Secret Lives of Mormon Couples. Okay? We don't need to see them. We don't need to see them. Everything that was shown could have been shown without them there. And that's just the truth. Second, we really didn't need to see Chase. We really didn't need to see Chase. Okay? The whole Dunkin' Donuts ad situation was cheesy and stupid. You're Hulu. You don't need Dunkin' Donuts money. Why are we throwing in a little Dunkin' Donut product placement in the middle of a reunion? Why? Stupid. Dumb, 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 dumb. It just made it so like cheesy and weird. Didn't like it. And again, we didn't need Chase there. We didn't need Chase there at all. And the part where they even had Chase like sit behind Taylor and like talk about that date, like I said, don't even get me started on that storyline because I can't. I come on, guys, use your cognitive thinking, your brains. I don't see why we even had to address it, have to talk about it. Like it was literally a blip. It was a blip at the end of the season. We could have just gazed right by it because obviously it's going to be a storyline in the next season and we're going to see that play out. So like we really don't need to talk about it at the reunion. The second thing is more with the men being shown way too much. In the dressing room where we see Brett and Zach have a moment. Brett, you are an old man. You are a grown ass man. And the fact that a 20-year-old something, like you said, munchkin is getting so under your skin, you need to meditate. You need to go figure stuff. You need to get a job. Okay? I said it. You need to go get a job because you are way too invested in this. And I think it's already like a little cringy when, you know, husbands are very invested in reality TV and kind of want the spotlight. Like it is already kind of strange to me, especially when it's a show that revolves around women. But when you're that old, and I know you're not like an old man, like you're what, 50 or something, and you don't even have like a career for yourself yet, I think you should focus more on that. I think that's where your focus should be. You shouldn't be so riled up by what's going on with these 20-year-old something men. You're their elder. Like, be an example. Instead, you just look really stupid. And throughout the season, we saw moments where it's like, you're supposed to be a role model. You've lived more years than all these guys, and you're saying stupid shit. You're calling Miranda white trash. You know full well you're on camera. Like, take a minute, take a deep breath, think about what you're saying before you say it, and be the grown adult in this situation. I mean, they're all grown adults and they all should be acting like adults, but like you in particular should be. Second, I think his apology and that whole situation with Miranda was so random and sped up and weird and did not fit the time and place. Like that could have been such a better conversation. And I think it would have been good too. Like obviously it was Brett who said it, so Brett needed to apologize. But I would have loved to have seen Demi and Miranda talk about that because at the end of the day, it stemmed from Demi being upset that Miranda stood up for Chase, and then Demi called Brett. So I feel like we needed to see more of the girls working stuff out and not so much the husbands trying to defend their wives and trying to stick up for their wives. Like these are big girls. Big personalities. They're strong, independent women. They can stick up for themselves. They can speak for themselves. We don't need the husbands doing it. Okay. Next, we see a lot of talk about all the sexual assault. Very sad, very dark. And I've seen a lot of people talk about it online about how it's, you know, correlated to the Mormon culture and how we need to address that that's an issue. And I think we do. I think, there is a lot of sexual trauma within the church, but I also think as someone who experienced sexual trauma in Florida with someone who wasn't even religious as a child, it happens everywhere in every state, but the amount of them who have struggled with it is actually really alarming. And I'm glad that they're, opening up and talking about it and obviously seeking therapy. But I think there needs to be a discussion of like, why is this such an issue? Like, how is it that so many of us have experienced that? And I don't know how you do that in a reality show with this kind of background. Like it's based off of like, it's trashy reality TV, right? Like it's not supposed to have that much depth. And maybe that's why people do like the shows, because it does have a little more depth than most reality TV shows. But it's like, how do you address such a vulnerable, dark topic and at the same time talk about Fruity Pebbles? Like, how do you do that? Right? So I don't know how they'll navigate it. I wonder if they'll maybe stop talking about those parts of themselves on the show, if that'll be like a big no-no moving forward because they kind of want to like make it less deep. I don't know. But I think after this season, there has been so much talk about sexual assault that I wouldn't be surprised if they just nip it in the butt and that's not a topic of discussion anymore. Which leads to when they do talk about the situation with Marciano and Demi, and it was very brief. And Jen talks about footage that she's seen, but like no one's ever actually seen. And I've heard about this footage multiple times from many people. And here's the thing. Now that Marciano is suing Demi for defamation, which I will also talk about, there's a very high chance that that footage, if it exists, which I'm pretty sure it does, it will be leaked. It'll be out there. And if this footage does have what I think it has, it's not good for Demi at all. And it's really hard and frustrating as somebody who's also experienced sexual assault to know that like this makes people not believe other victims. It makes me really angry. And I'm hoping that I'm wrong. I'm hoping that what I've heard and what I know isn't the case. I want Demi to be telling the truth. I want that. I really deep down want that, which is why I haven't really given like strong opinions on it, because I so badly want it to be true, because I don't want to have to look at her differently. But like, it's not looking good. It's not. And the fact that Marciano has the claims that he does, I highly recommend, if you have TikTok, to go look at this girl. Her username is quite long. It's LEGGSSSESQIRE. It's Legs Squire. Girl, change your username because you will blow up after this if you continue posting the content you are. But she is a attorney in New York, and she's breaking down Marciano's case against Demi, and she does a really good job talking about it and explaining it. And the allegations are bad. It's bad. And so I just don't know why Marciano would go through all this trouble if he wasn't innocent, if he knew that there was footage out there that proves that he's telling the truth. He's also suing the production. Jeff, I believe is his name, and he's probably also shitting his pants. But at the same time, Demi posts on social media like everything is fine, and maybe that's a tactic, a PR tactic to make it look like it's not a big deal what's going on. But what's going on is a big deal, and if she actually doesn't see that, like that's actually delusional and concerning. And I just really hope that she is telling the truth, and then that would maybe show the reasoning as to why she's acting like this online. But I don't think that's the case. And that like really sucks, because there's a lot of people who have struggled with sexual assault, and people who falsely claim it take away from all the real victims. And she even said, she was like, I wonder how many more victims will come forward now that I've, said that Marciano did this. And no victims from what I know of have come forward. So it's like, what? But they briefly do talk about it in the reunion, and it gets absolutely nowhere. So I think all of this is going to happen off air in a courtroom with, attorneys and lawyers, and it's going to be expensive. It's going to be messy, and it's probably going to be dragged out. And it makes me sad, honestly. It makes me sad for Demi because obviously I'm a human and she's a human, and I don't want anyone to go through the level of online scrutiny that she is, and like people saying the most vile things to her. But at the same time, you do have to be held accountable. And if you did lie about something so serious, that's not okay. No matter the outcome, it's sad either way. Because if she is telling the truth, then Marciano's a piece of shit and everyone didn't believe her, and that's really sad. And if she is lying, that's really sad, because what do you mean you fucking lied about this? So either way, it's sad. So I'm hoping that they can like get to the bottom of it soon. And I would love to know what Brett's family is thinking about this, because if you have listened to the podcast from the very beginning, you do know that Demi came on when I very first started this podcast. We did an episode. We talked about some raunchy shit. We didn't talk about Fruity Pebbles though. We did not talk about that. I did not know that was a thing. We did talk about other things though. And Brett's sister, who was married to Larry King, left a very nasty review on my podcast. I'll actually read it to you guys because why not? I listened to the entire episode waiting for it to get better. The host is miserable and tries too hard to be cutting edge. She only proves to be desperate by attempting to shock. I don't want to hear about anal sex and butt plugs. Her mother must be so proud, with a throw up emoji. I wonder what she thinks about Fruity Pebbles. I feel like that's way kinkier than butt plugs and anal sex, but I don't know. What else from the reunion that I want to talk about? We didn't need to see Taylor's parents there. We did not need to see that. They're trying way too hard to include Taylor's family on the show. And I get it. Like, her dynamic with her family and with Dakota is interesting. And sure, has like a part on the show for sure. But the reunion? No, we don't need them on the reunion. Like, it was just such a waste of time. Such a waste of time. And then Dakota being there talking in circles. And I think everyone kind of like glazed over the fact that he was like, me and Taylor were sexting last night. I think a lot of the times we put the blame on Dakota. And I'm not saying Dakota's not in the wrong, because he is 1,000%. But I think a lot of the times Taylor gets away with a lot of shit that I don't think a lot of the other girls on the cast would. And the fact that they just kind of glazed by the fact that she was sexting him the night before, but like hates his guts, is kind of crazy. Like, can we go back and like talk about that? Like, Taylor, why were you sexting Dakota? Like, do you hate him or do you not? Also, Dakota, why are you acting like this? Why are you doing this? Why can't you take accountability? Why can't you just say, sorry, I fucked up? Like, and mean it. They're just a hot mess. And I'm sure we will see much more of that hot mess in season 4. We'll see her go on The Bachelor. I hope that being away from Dakota is like cleansing her soul and she can like fully heal from that and not go back to him. But it seems like they just have a very toxic relationship where they almost crave each other and they know they can't be with each other. Like, they know it's bad for each other, but they can't stop. There's actually a Tate McRae song and it's called Siren Sounds. And it is literally Taylor and Dakota's theme song. Go listen to it. It is perfect for them. But I did think that was interesting that we all just kind of glossed over that. Like, what? Can we talk about that again? But overall, the reunion was quick, scrambled, and not great. And I don't think it was Stassi's fault at all. But that's my Secret Lives of Mormon Wives pop culture TikTok trash recap, which means now it's time for Trasher's Trash. Today's episode is also brought to you by Shed, the easiest way to start your weight health journey. With Shed, it only takes 3 minutes to get started. You'll fill out a quick online form with your goals and health history, and their medical team will create a personalized treatment plan just for you. Everything happens online. No doctor's offices, no pharmacy lines. Your FDA-approved medication ships straight to your door. And the best part, you're not doing it alone. Shed pairs you with a dedicated member success team to help you track progress and stay motivated along the way. Clinically studied treatments, no insurance required, and zero hassle. Get $100 off your first month by using the link in the show notes. Shed is making health simple, effective, and actually doable. Thank you, Shed, for sponsoring today's episode. Decided to try out 12 days of lingerie. I got cheap ones from Shein for Christmas, and it's actually been so fun, but I can't keep up with the 12 days in a row. Okay, that's fun. Sexy, sexy wife or girlfriend or whatever you are. Fun fact, I don't ever wear lingerie. Like, I rather just be like butt ass naked, but I feel like I should get lingerie because it seems really fun. And like, I feel like it would make me and like you guys feel very sexy. So I hope this encourages some of you to do 12 days of lingerie. But I will say that it probably is hard to keep up. What if you like spread it out like every other day? Because then it equals 24 days. I think that's what you should do. So instead of 12 days in a row, do like one day, space, another day. But I guess it's already the 11th if you're listening to this, which means you only have 14 days till Christmas. I still think you can do breaks though, for sure. You don't need to do it every single day. Break it up a little bit. But that's so fun of you to do the lingerie thing. That like inspired me. Like I should buy lingerie. If Pedro's listening, he's like, yes, please buy some lingerie. My mother-in-law, okay, this is crazy. My mother-in-law was watching my kids and I caught her on our baby monitor in my bedroom that was locked, going through my drawers and stealing a vibrator of mine. She had to pick the lock to get in my room. We also watched her lock and close the door when she walked out, so it looked like she wasn't in there. No, this can't be real. She picked a lock to steal her daughter-in-law's vibrator? Has she ever heard of Amazon? Like, there's no way she stole it to use it. Did she steal it because she wanted to see if you guys were naughty? Like, what? No. Please tell me you confronted her. No, this is what you need to do. You need to screen record the footage and you need to send it to her. Because how embarrassing and borderline psychotic is it to break into your son and daughter-in-law's bedroom to steal her vibrator? No, there is no way this is real. If this is real, please send me the footage because that is crazy. Crazy. Did she put it back? Did she take it, use it, and then put it back? Or is it gone? Is it gone forever and you just don't have that vibrator anymore? No, everything about this is so gross because it's a vibrator that you used with her son. Like, no, she's psychotic. Psychotic. Ew, that's so gross. Please send her the footage and me because I would love to see. This is another crazy one. My husband likes to wear diapers. Not in a pretend to be a baby way or because it turns him on. He says it just feels comfortable and says it's equivalent to putting on a comfortable pair of pajamas. It grosses me out, turns me off, and makes me not even want to crawl in the same bed as him. Help. I mean, everything you said is valid. Every single word. I don't think this is normal behavior. This is like a TLC strange addictions type of thing. I think he needs therapy. Like there has to be something behind this. Like, does he use the diaper when he's wearing it? Like, does he go to sleep and pee his pants? Like, what even inspired the diaper in the first place? Has he always worn a diaper to bed? Like, you guys are married. So has this been a thing forever? If so, why didn't you nip it in the butt when you were dating? Like that, has this always been a thing? First of all. Second of all, if this has always been a thing, why are we just now telling him this is an issue? This was an issue the whole time. If this is a new thing, I mean, I think you need to tell him like, this grosses me out. I think that is a very valid thing to say. You wearing diapers to bed as a grown man who doesn't need to be wearing diapers to bed kind of grosses me out. It's kind of an ick. It's kind of the definition of an ick. So I definitely think you could be saying that to him. If he doesn't take that well, I think you need to recommend a therapist to him because that is some unusual behavior to want to do that. It is not comparable to putting on a comfy pair of pajamas, okay? As someone who has worn a diaper, no. it's actually quite uncomfortable. It actually feels like a ton of tissue paper stuffed in your pants. It actually isn't comfy. What? Also, is he wearing the same diaper? Because if he's not peeing in it, he could just reuse the diaper, which is honestly even grosser and weirder. Like the whole thing is really weird, and you're valid in all your thoughts. And I am so sorry that this is a conversation you are actually having to have in real life. But I think if he's not seeing that this is a weird fetish and behavior, therapy, 1,000%. I'm 25 weeks pregnant, and for some reason, the thought of having sex is so unappealing and has been my whole pregnancy. I feel so bad for my husband. He keeps our house clean, does my laundry. He couldn't be any better. He doesn't say anything or pressure me, but I feel guilty. Is this normal? I think it's way more normal to not want to have sex when you're pregnant than it is to have sex when you're pregnant. I never wanted to have sex when I was pregnant, and I understand feeling bad. I think that's a very common thing, especially when you have a healthy marriage and you're equal partners. And it's like, that if you weren't pregnant, you would be having sex, and you see them doing so much for you. And to you, like, sex is a way to connect. So it would make sense why you feel bad that you're not doing that. I think finding other ways to show affection and love, obviously it's not going to be the same as an orgasm, but a back tickle or, just a hand job. Like, it doesn't have to be sex. It can be something else. And I think he'll appreciate it too. But I love that you said that he's not pressuring you or making you feel bad for it, because that's the biggest green flag. And if anything, that would make me horny, because I'd be like, oh, you're being so sweet and nice, and you're also not expecting anything. Hot. But yeah, you can do other things besides like having sex, like penetration. Hand jobs are great. But if you don't even want to do anything sexual, like a back tickle or a back massage, something where he feels appreciated, but it sounds like he is so grateful for you that you're literally carrying his baby, that he doesn't expect anything from you. And I think you shouldn't expect anything from yourself either, because you are carrying his child, and that is already the biggest thing you could give somebody. But if you want to connect, and if you feel like that's something you need in your marriage, there's other things you can do besides having sex. But I don't think it's not normal to not want to have sex when you're married, or not want to have sex when you're pregnant. Like, I never wanted to have sex when I was pregnant, ever. So it is normal. I'm gay AF, and IDK had to tell my family, LOL. What if you didn't? What if you just started dating the same sex and never had that conversation? How would you feel about that? Just like sprung it on him, just like slowly but surely. When Kyle and Tucker came on the podcast, they kind of talked about how they each came out, and Tucker was saying that he never really had the conversation. He just like started doing it. And maybe that's something you could think of doing, where you don't actually have to have that conversation, because maybe it's uncomfortable and awkward for you and you don't feel like you need to have it. If you do feel like you need to tell your parents, write them a letter. That's what Scotty Hatch did, if I believe. Yes. In his podcast episode, he said he wrote them a letter, I'm pretty sure. But you could try that. I think at the end of the day, you need to live your truth, and you shouldn't be hiding who you are, especially from the people who love you. And I would hope that your parents will be loving and understanding and welcoming. And if they're not, I know there's a group of people who will be, and find that community, because you deserve love. You deserve to feel loved, be in love. And I hope you find that. My cute friends at work bring me a soda and a cookie every Friday. It's so nice of them, but here's the thing. I don't like soda and I don't like cookies. It makes me feel bad because they are wasting money. I have sent many texts saying not to bring me anything, but they do. How direct do I need to be? Well, it sounds like you need to be pretty fucking direct. So it sounds like you need to say, I don't like soda and I don't like cookies. And I think that'll solve the problem. Does it feel harsh? Maybe. But what's harsher? Them wasting their money? I think they would appreciate knowing that they don't need to spend $12 on you every time. So I would just say, guys, I love you, but I don't like cookies and I don't like soda. And maybe you even throw in I'm trying to watch what I eat. I'm trying to eat healthier to kind of like lessen the blow, you know? But I think you need to be pretty direct in this situation. I'm hosting a favorite things party. What should I bring? The criteria is under $30 and it's an all girls party. Okay, well, is it my favorite thing or your favorite thing? What's your favorite thing that's under $30? My favorite thing that's under $30? Okay, first is the Babe Original lip mask. I've shared it before. Love. I also love Poppy and Pout chapstick. It's like a different type of texture, but you can like buy the sets and they're super cute and you keep them in your car. The one thing about Babe Original that I don't like is you have to use your finger. And it's like if your finger's dirty and then you like put it in and put it on your lips, but like the texture is really, really nice. You could do a $30 gift card to your favorite restaurant. For me, it would be Tsunami, which I feel like is kind of the best gift because like who doesn't love food? Another $30 item that would be in my favorite things is the Aritzia socks. I'm actually wearing them right now. If you're on YouTube, these are the socks. I love them. They like fit really snug and I don't know what about them is so great, but they are so great. Another $30 favorite thing. Oh my gosh. Coco New Lube, especially if it's an all girls party. Yeah, I would for sure do that. Another $30 favorite thing that I use a lot that I love. That's a favorite thing. Probably my self tanner. The one that I linked it in my November bubble and my December bubble. I'm pretty sure it's the Loving Tan. And I think it's a little over $30, but I think you can buy like a smaller bottle that's like cheaper. It's like a travel size. So like they can try it. That would probably be my other thing. So those are the things I would bring. But again, it has to be your favorite thing. But those are my favorite things. Just trash. I was an assistant to a celebrity and the way I could cancel them. I wish I could do a story time, but I got to be the bigger person and handle this with grace, even though I want to out them. So not genuine. Social media is so fake. Okay, juicy. I'm surprised that this celebrity didn't have you sign an NDA. I feel like when celebrities have any kind of employee, an NDA is a must. So the fact that you didn't have an NDA makes me think that they must not be that big of a celebrity and they're just like an influencer. And even influencers have people sign NDAs. But it is really frustrating when you see someone's true colors and you can't be honest about who they really are. And I've had that happen to me before where I was like, I wish I could truly say how I feel about this person, but it wouldn't really be good or beneficial for my career. Cause maybe like whatever job you have, like you can't be that open and honest because it could affect like potential jobs in the future. And here's the thing, at the end of the day, you need to protect you. And if exposing someone and their behaviors is actually going to make your life harder and make things more complicated for you, it's just not worth it. And unfortunately, that's just life. And some people get away with being shitty. But I will say, karma is real. Karma's a bitch. And it will bite them in the butt one day because you can't fake who you are forever. You just can't. And whether it's in a week, a year, a decade, it'll come out. People will know who they are, the way they treated people, because you just, like I said, you can't hide it forever. So feel some peace in knowing that it'll come out at one point and you won't be the one who has to take the fall for it. So I'll say that. And that is it for Trasher's Trash, you guys. I hope you have the best weekend. The next guest will be announced on Tuesday. It's the last guest of 2025. But as you guys know, that every year, the first guest of the year is a trasher. And I do a little giveaway where people comment their trash and we pick and decide who I should dumpster deep dive. This year, I thought about doing something a little bit more. If you would like to be dumpster deep dove on Weekly Trash as the first guest of 2026, this is what you need to do. You need to make a TikTok or a reel that's anywhere from 30 to 60 seconds long where you tell me why I should dumpster deep dive you. Give me like an elevator pitch, okay, as to what your story is, why it's interesting, and what you think we should talk about. Then you're going to tag me in it. I'm then going to compile my top 3 favorites, and then the Trashers will decide who gets to be the 2026 first guest. So if you ever wanted to be on Weekly Trash, now is your chance. I am so excited to see the submissions. See good, do good, and don't forget to take out your trash. Love ya. Bye.